Welcome to our very first live worldwide interactive event. We are here tonight breaking new ground. Nothing like this has ever been attempted before. Right now, you all are online with me from every corner on our planet. Places like Albania, Bolivia, Cambodia, Ecuador, Finland, Hong Kong, China, India, Zimbabwe, Australia, Canada, the UK, and the rest of Europe, along with, of course, all 50 states here in our United States of America. Over 139 countries are represented in our class tonight. Welcome to you all. So I want to get started. This is the most exciting thing I've ever done. I've done a lot of things in my life, but I am most proud of the fact that all of you have joined us in this global community to talk about what I believe is one of the most important subjects and presented by one of the most important books of our time, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. I don't think there's anything more important than awakening and also knowing what your purpose is. And for the next 10 weeks, author and spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle and I will be here in our virtual classroom here on Oprah.com every Monday, 8 p.m., be on time for class, 8 p.m. Central. We're going to be answering your emails. We're going to be having a conversation about each chapter and taking your calls from around the world and your emails from around the world and seeing some of you around the world through our Skype phones. I'm sure you've already noticed that you can type in your questions on the right side of your screen and send that to us instantly. And we will, we have a whole team of people here who are ready, but waiting, standing by to take your calls and emails. And of course, I'm honored to introduce the author of this great book, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose, Eckhart Tolle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
How exciting is this?
Yeah.
It's very good. Okay, so let's get class started. The way we're going to work the class is that we will have a conversation and take your calls and your questions whenever we feel appropriate. First of all, I wanted to just talk to you about how this book came to you. I was introduced to this book several months ago when I was interviewing Eckhart Tolle on XM Radio. I have a show on XM Radio. Many people know about it, but it's called the Soul Series. And on that show, I get to talk to anybody I choose, and I choose to speak to people who represent this kind of thinking, this genre of spirituality. And we talk about the soul. So I was interviewing Eckhart Tolle several months ago about his book, The Power of Now, because that's really all I knew about Eckhart Tolle was The Power of Now. I call you the father of now, The Power of Now, which that book was a life-changing book for me, given to me many years ago, about 8 years ago, by Meg Ryan, who's on the show. And the producer, Corny, came in and said, well, as I was preparing, she said, there's this other book he's written called A New Earth. And I just had time to thumb through A New Earth and not really give it its due because I was focused on reading The Power of Now and talking to you about that. And after our interview, started to read this book, and it was absolutely, I felt the shift that you talk about, that you say on page 7 that this will be meaningless to you or you will feel the shift. I started to feel the shift. And one of the things that really occurred to me as I was going through various chapters and having aha moment after another is how clear this message is. What a clear channel it seemed to come through for you. It was like I'd never, didn't know you or hadn't met you in person, even through the radio. We weren't sitting in the same studio. How did this come to be? How did this come through you, to you?
Well, it comes out of the space of stillness. That's where all creative endeavor is born. So it's getting in touch with the stillness within, where there's no mental noise. And out of that stillness when the time is right, sometimes an impulse comes, something, a feeling, a strong sense that something wants to be born into this world. I had the same strong sense before writing The Power of Now. That was 13 years ago when I started writing it. I had left England, I was living in England, and I had this strong impulse one morning, and I was in England still, knowing I have to move to the west coast of North America without knowing why.
This is just a feeling you had.
Yes, a strong knowing. So it's not through a decision-making process, just the realization I have to move there. I don't know why, but I have to go. It was such a total, absolutely no doubt about it. So I moved to Vancouver, and then I took a Greyhound bus to California, knew only one or two people. And I said, why am I here? 3 weeks passed, somebody put me up in a room near San Francisco, and suddenly I bought a notepad, and suddenly the strong stream came through, and I wrote, what is enlightenment? The beginning of the power of now. The moment I wrote that, I knew this is the book that wants to be born. So rather than me wanting to write a book, there was a book that wanted to be written.
It's like Michelangelo says, the angel's in the marble, and he just cuts away the marble.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I find, I'll come back to that in a second. For most people, that is the approach to what is my purpose, to look at what the greater purpose is. What does the greater purpose want from me? What does life or God want from me, rather than what do I want from life? So that's the starting point. I know that you were involved in your mind.
Yes.
Perhaps you didn't even see it.
Never saw it. I see. Yeah.
And so many people are so trapped in this continuous mental noise that absorbs their whole attention all the time. Every thought absorbs, the stream of thinking absorbs their attention. They don't see that the world around them is vitally alive.
Yeah.
So you become, gradually, as people then grow older, the world around them becomes more and more lifeless and dead.
Right.
And that happens to them also.
And why is that? Because?
That is because you are run by mental abstraction. All the concepts and the thoughts in the head are abstractions. It's not life.
So you can't take in the information that's there to be received all around you because you're so you're in your head.
You're in your head. You're not present.
All right.
So you're lost in thought. I could say that's the human condition, is being lost in thought. And people don't, and that of course is the famous, what we call the voice in the head.
The voice in the head.
Some people have been asking about.
Which we'll be talking a lot about, the voice in the head.
So some people say, what voice in the head? It's that one.
It's that one. All right, so Kelly from Alton, Illinois joins us via Skype. Kelly, hi.
Hi, Sarah. Hi,
what's your question?
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Well, good. Where are you, home?
I'm at home.
Okay, good. This is the coolest thing. Isn't this cool?
It is crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. That's what I think. It's crazy that we're like out here, wherever this is, talking to each other. Okay, what's your question?
Well, my question is regarding religion and spirituality.
Big one.
I had a Catholic upbringing. I married a Catholic, and we're raising our children this way. In reading books such as Tolley's, it's really opened my eyes up to a new way of thinking, a new form of spirituality that doesn't always align with the teachings of Christianity. So my question is to you, Oprah, how have you reconciled these spiritual teachings with your Christian beliefs?
Oh, the question's to me. I was resting knowing it was going to be about him. I've reconciled it because I was able to open my mind about the absolute indescribable hugeness of that which we call God. I took God out of the box because I grew up in the Baptist church, and there were, rules and, belief systems and doctrine. And I happened to be sitting in church in my late 20s, and I was going to this church where you had to get there at 8 o'clock in the morning, or you couldn't get a seat, and a very charismatic minister, and everybody